Is she not talking to us or something?
We're on the air.
I can't see
We're
what's going on.
on.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to TAN TV, the African American Network. We have a local feel with a global reach. You watching myself. We got Vonda at the top left. We got Big Bank Hank and Henry in there, and we got Big Mama today. She feeling better. Hey, Laura, how you doing? So
Hey.
today we're gonna talk about whatever we feel like talking about. It is out of bounds Sunday today. So without further ado, we'll go female, male, female, male. So Vonda, since you're right in the front, what you like to talk about first?
I know. I'm talking about whatever y'all talking about.
That
That's
ain't no
right.
fair.
Whatever y'all talking about, I'm talking about.
That ain't no
But
fair.
We're
That
talking
ain't
about homecoming.
We'll talk
that ain't
about
fair.
that. I'm sure we got some
Yeah.
some some Austin P alumni on here watching us.
okay.
I'm sure they
Right.
listening, trying to figure out what the Noops are gonna do and everybody else for homecoming, since they can make sure you ladies can put a proper dress on.
That's right.
We got about 2 more weeks.
Two
Yeah.
more weeks. That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
We
Two
got
more
Big
weeks,
Henry back. Big
exactly
Henry
right.
been out there cruising the Pacific.
It starts on a Thursday night. I think that's the 26th, I believe,
Mhm.
with a fish fry. Then there is a meet and greet.
Uh-huh.
Um, and there is a white coat ceremony for the couples that actually started Theta Beta chapter, which will be a
Mm-hmm.
dinner, and that will be a formal dinner. And I'll shoot everybody the information out to the places and times everything will be. But it's where you are in the bond for 50 years. You get a white coat, a certificate, and something else that you get as well. It's going to be a very, very nice ceremony. It'll be doing like 10 o'clock that morning, so brunch will be provided and so forth. Then there's the tailgate, and man, the couples have got a huge tent. It's a fish fry, all kinds of stuffed food that we normally have there. Then the game, and then there will be a sneaker ball that night. Of course, there's a Greek show that night. The sneaker balls that night as well. So dress up in your attire and wear sneakers, and gonna have a very good nice time. And then of course, that Sunday will be church services at Reverend Daniel's church on that Sunday. So that's a
Okay.
quick
Wow.
breakdown
So
of what all we're doing, but I'll get all the information out, shoot all the flyers out probably tomorrow to everybody.
Also, don't forget the mixer on Friday night.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
There's a
Yes.
mixer on Friday night, and also on that fish fry night, that Thursday night is also something Mad Madness, also be Madness or something
Right.
at
Mad
the new arena.
Madness.
mm-hmm.
At the
Hmm.
new arena,
Hmm.
where they're going to be giving
Okay.
away free gifts, and they're going to have old school basketball scrimmage, dunking contest, and some more stuff.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Wait a minute. They're not gonna have old dudes trying to dunk, are
They're
they?
going to have old people. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
their
They might.
alumni.
It's
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 their
They're
like a
alumni
alumni.
gift.
it's like alumni
Hmm.
um, versus the current players and so forth. A lot of the alumni guys have been trying to get ready, get in shape for it, so they're looking forward to it, man.
Okay. That's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's gonna be real interesting. We might get some good laughs out of that.
Most
Be
Yeah.
like that Hall of Fame commercial when all the NFL guys are thinking the old guys thinking they're gonna get back in the game. They flash back getting hit. Dan Marino can't read his glasses
man,
without his glasses, and he go, "I'm sitting right here."
man, that is so funny because 2 years ago we had a alumni versus the varsity football game, and of course
Hmm.
I played
Hmm.
in it, and of course Greg Watson played as well, and
Hmm.
quarterback. I go back to the huddle. I say, "Hey man, I'm wide open. I'm wide open. Hit me, get me." Man. Of course, he threw me the ball. I got it. Ran like 10, 15 yards. Come back to the huddle, huffing and puffing. I'm wide open, man. I'm wide open. Give me the ball. Yeah, that was funny though, man. That was funny. Yes, sir.
I bet.
I bet your heart didn't think it was
No,
funny.
sir. No, sir. Had to do Epsom salt bath.
All right, I'm on Facebook now. I don't know what's going on, but I don't see no comments, so we're doing all right.
Cool, cool.
Well, I got a question. Well, we'll go to Denise. We'll
Well,
let
you
Denise
said male, female, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are
Okay,
correct,
so-
Henry. Thanks for
And
correcting me.
since I
Henry,
was next to Miss Vonda, I think that
That's
I'm
right.
next. How about that?
You next. Go ahead.
One
ahead.
thing
Talk
that I
to us.
wanted to talk about, and it's actually in today's society, is the African American hot hairstyle in corporate America. Why is corporate America so against the natural hairstyle that the African Americans are wearing? They're saying there's a young man, to be specific, there's a young man that plays football for a prominent college, was kicked off the team. Well, he was suspended, and because his braids, they said, fell below his ear line, and which they didn't. And they were up. If he let them down, then they would fall below the ear line. But I don't see why, if they're very tasteful, I don't see why corporate America would be in an uproar with the African American natural hairstyle, whether they're braids, the natural look. I don't understand that. So can we talk about that?
I don't understand that either because you talking about the
Somebody
braids?
hit the
They
call.
wear in the pro, they wear them down and everything. So I don't know why, you know. I don't know what that would
Well,
be a
that-
problem, you know.
Well,
In the college,
I think
you know, either. As long, like you said, as long as
Well,
it's
if you-
tasteful and and everything. So
Well, now my question to you,
I don't
Henry.
think that
Can
they
you-
should have a problem with it.
I don't either. But Henry, I got a question to your question.
Yes, sir.
What state was that in?
Oh wow, I can't remember the state that it was in, man, and I can look it up. I want to say, gosh, it was a southern state, but I can't remember exactly which one it is, and that's my bad for not having that information, man.
I mean, the reason why I asked that question was definitely if it was Florida, I could understand, but unless you're a big time player down there at Florida. But personally, I don't understand the difference between long hair, period. If you're a white person or Latino and you got your hair down beneath your shoulders and you're in a professional arena, they say nothing. But I think it's the braids that bring attention. And I think a lot of corporate America, maybe are they? Y'all correct me. I've been out of the game for a while as far as work. Are they afraid of a takeover or something? That's what I was going to ask. Because
Well,
it
I
doesn't
know.
make sense. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Well, I know in corporate America, I know here in the Atlanta area, there's a lot of men with the braids, attorneys, folks in corporate and all that. But I think that it boils down to the problem that others may have
Yeah.
with it is it's our expression of ourselves, and I don't know if they try to suppress our who we are or who the nature of us.
Cool.
I don't know. I think that it's a matter of expression, and they don't want us to express ourselves like that
Well,
in some arenas.
I kind of
Well,
agree with you. Go ahead, Henry. Go ahead.
No, there was a movie on TV where this young lady had this internship, and the lady told, and she had a natural hairstyle, and the lady said, if you want to be out front with the customers, you need to perm your hair. You need to have it permed and so forth. And there was another young lady that had braids, and she said, I'm not taking my braids down. I'm sorry. They kept her on the internship, but she was in the stock room, working in the stock room where the customers could not see her. Whether the other young lady, however, she did end up perming her hair, making it long and straight, where the people that was coming in to buy clothing from this particular boutique saw her in a relaxed hairstyle. So
That's because mainstream America, that's what typically that's what it looks like, the long straight hair or whatever, and it's more catered toward um other races.
European Americans.
European American, thank you, European Americans. And that's just the, like I said, that's the that standard that they've placed on corporate America, or in the job scene, however, or wherever.
That,
But
well,
I
I
feel
mean,
that whether you're female, whether you're male, be strong in your convictions. If
Hmm.
that's what you are, uh, your beliefs are in, man, don't succumb to
Hmm.
somebody else's beliefs or what you should do, what you should conform to. Then be strong in your convictions and say, hey, okay, if this door is going to close on me, I'm fine, but I'm gonna go right over here and continue to do what I'm going to do and be better at it than what you tried to allow me to do. Don't let them hinder your expectations. Be strong in your convictions
Right.
in
It's
everything that you do.
I
yeah.
agree, but it's like gentrification. They're just trying to. Um, I want European Americans afraid that the African American culture is taking over. If you look at, like Vonda said, if you look at the commercials, any sporting event, I'm looking at the game right now. 9% of the brothers out there right now got braids in their hair. You see what I'm
They
saying?
sure do.
So if that's the image they don't want to see in their job, I think they can do it because if I remember correctly, didn't Donald Trump and the Supreme Court get rid of affirmative action? So they figuring if you don't conform, they can fire your butt and hire
Mhm.
one of their own. And I kind of agree with that. I'm going to skip you for a second, Denise. I want to go because I my question goes right with that. And my question on that is, how are you aware of how Nazi Germany rose to power? Anybody anybody understand what I'm saying? How did the Nazis,
Mm,
Hitler, rise to power? What steps
mm.
did they take? And it's
Well,
caught on the line of what you were talking, Henry's question. That's why I brought it up right now. Well, just
you
to give
know,
you a little, go
I
ahead.
think that the Gestapo played a major role in hindering um, the non-German um, during that time. So during that time, there was a lot of African Americans. It was in the military. It was in Germany. Of course, they were focusing on the Jews and the African Americans to destroy them, to raise up the blonde haired, blue eyed German at that time. If you remember during the Olympics, Wilma Rudolph and Jesse Owens destroyed the Germans in the
Hmm.
Olympics.
Mhm.
And of course, during that time, they caught uh, unmeasurable um, discrimination in Germany. And not only when Wilma came back to Clarksville, Tennessee, she couldn't even go into a McDonald's because of her race. So, but I think the Gestapo, Hitler, all of that, which probably branched off the Nazi Germans at that time to as a hatred movement to uprise or uplift the blonde haired, blue eyed German person.
Well, Henry, you're correct on that. But how they started was just how they starting right now in America, trying to control people. You know,
Hmm.
uh,
Mhm.
for example, when we was talking about hair, they were talking about non Germans, and I don't understand that because the Jews were German, but I guess I should say non Gentiles or whatever because they discriminated against the Jews. The first step that they did was they start doing little things like the hair or whatever that they did to them. And also, what they did was it's the same thing that Ron DeSantis is trying to do down in Florida. He started banning books because education is the biggest problem for authoritarian action. They don't want you to be smart. If you look, if you know, If you look at Putin, Putin don't want you to be smart. But if you are smart, you work on Putin's side. And if you don't work on Putin's side, you either dead or in prison. So that's how the Germans did it. And they're doing it just like, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. They're doing the same things like the far right, or far left, I should say, far left Republican Party. They're trying to eliminate all the things that make it equal for people, i.e., if you follow what's going on in Alabama, they're talking about, hey, you got to restructure. They don't want to have but one Democratic district in all state of Alabama. With all those, we know Montgomery is what? Got to be at least 80% black, if not more. So they're trying to destroy that. And by doing that, that's how they do it. The government, I'm not saying the United States government, I'm talking about the local state governments. That's what they're doing. And I just think that they're following Adolf Hitler's footprints to trying to fix this thing and whatever. Because you hear, I'm gonna say it, on the dark web, a lot of things about, race riots and race wars and so on. But I really don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's just gonna be a few. Might be a few on both sides or just a few on one side that fuels it. But I think that's the prejudice. That's where I was coming from with the hair and the look. That's the prejudice and the uncomfortability of them showing your dominance and your own personal opinion and look being unique. So with that being said, if you don't got anything to say on that, Denise, here's with yours.
No, whatever y'all said.
let's talk about something that's really, really funny. Are the Cowboys go win this game?
Keep hope,
Out of
keep
what?
hope
Are the
alive.
Cowboys go win this football game?
Keep hope alive. I'm gonna say so. Yes, sir.
Man,
Keep
look
hope
at
alive.
look at it this way. It's three teams that I always know if they have three or three out of the first 5 games or 4 out of the first 7 games. If they have wins, they're going to the Super Bowl. The LA Chargers, the the Nevada Raiders, and the Cowboys. If, right now, the Cowboys is the number one team, hot as they could be. They go to the Super Bowl, and I don't understand. They ain't been to Super Bowl. They ain't even been to a championship game. So why are they so hot? None
They're
of those
America's
teams.
team.
I don't know why the Cowgirls talk.
They're America's team. They're America's
Why?
team.
I don't know. They're not my team. I don't know why the Cowgirls
Hold on,
talk.
y'all. Hold on, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to TV, the African American Network. We have a local feel with global reach, and we want to know, why is the Cowboys America's team? I just want to know why.
Miss Laura says nope.
I believe it.
They're not my team.
I mean, so
That's Henry's team.
Absolutely. I'm
that's your
rocking
team,
with them.
Henry. You a Cowboy fan?
I'm a Cowboy fan. And I told you guys before, man, God is a Cowboy fan. He made the sky blue.
You know,
Oh,
why?
He put the
You're
star.
going too far.
He put the star. In the
He's going too far.
Look,
You know?
let's be for real, y'all. If God was a Cowboy fan, they'd have won a Super Bowl the last 10 years.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Exactly. So what,
They
Henry?
got 5, brother. They
got 5. You know what? I'm gonna give you the argument when they say about
Right
LeBron
now they're
and Michael.
14 and
It's
0.
in the past. What Michael Jackson say? What have you done for me lately?
Michael
That's
Jackson
Janet
also.
Jackson.
That's
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
One of them Jacksons.
Janet.
Michael Jackson.
Right now they're 14 and
But
That's
0.
what
Michael
I'm talking
Jackson
about.
also. Michael Jackson also said, "Beat it."
He did say that. That's what them Cowgirls gonna get beat tonight.
Oh, Lord.
Y'all look bad
I'm
right
not
now.
even give you
That
no-
cowgirl.
I've been calling that forever, the Cowgirls, because as soon as I can tell you what, as soon as they get out of the playoffs, you can see them long crying faces. And,
Yeah.
and they make a lot of money. I don't understand. I know everybody wants to win, but not everybody's, blessed. There are some guys like Charles Barkley didn't win a thing in the NBA other than, individual awards. He never won a team award like the championship. But he was still a great
Right.
player. So does it matter if you win a Super Bowl or not?
I have a question. Okay, lose to win. But I have a question. Where in the world does all the money come to pay all these athletes on all these teams, all these millions of dollars? I know endorsements, I know all that,
Advertisement.
I know, but that's a lot, y'all. Do you know how many people, hungry people, that money can feed? And I just think that
This is disillusion.
that's just the way of the world, I guess. But
You
it's
know,
it's unreal. It's unreal where the revenue and the money comes from to pay all these. I mean, you not only have football, you got basketball, you got soccer, you got baseball, all these $1 million players. It fathoms me.
Well,
but Vonda,
Yeah.
when I was in college, that is very funny that you brought that up. When I was in college 40 years ago, I wrote a paper about that very thing and got a D on the paper,
No.
Why'd you get a D?
I said, how can these TV game shows be giving away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and we have people sleeping under bridges?
Right.
It just don't make sense.
well, it does. Go ahead, Henry. I'm sorry.
So I said, where are our priorities? And then I said, at that time, they had just finished the Dunn Center. And I said, man, a lot of times people go to a college because of their sports program. Put the money in the sports program. They wanted to build a new business building. I said, hold off on building the business building. Put the monies in the sports program. You're going to attract athletes. They're going to go to the playoffs. Money's going to come in for that. Use that money to build your business building. I got a deal on the paper. So, but
Well, you know what?
The reason why you got such a low grade?
I know why.
You had
Because he was
grammatical
ahead of
errors
his
or
time.
something. You had a bunch of
No, they
He
didn't
was
like
ahead of
what I
his
was
time.
saying.
You know why, Henry, you was ahead of your time?
What?
Because look at Colorado. Look
That's
what
it,
Deion
bro.
did in 1 year.
That's it.
Them people went from making no money on them games to making enough money just on the football games to fund the whole school for a year. Not talking about TV. Yeah.
$459 could get you season tickets to every game there. Now you can't get one ticket for $400.
You can't get in the nosebleed.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? Laura brought up a good question. She said homeless veterans. Now that's one thing I really don't understand about this country.
I do not
I
understand
I don't
that.
understand why if a person served for this country in any aspect, especially a veteran, put his life on the line, and you don't have the funds to help those people. I'm a veteran, and I think that it's really, really heartbreaking that we're treated like second citizens everywhere. Just like, if that question I give you, Vonda, is this question right here. They rather stop funding the budget and the military people go crazy or whatever. They're willing to continue building that bridge, that fence down there in Mexico where you could feed people, So the money is not going where it should go to help people. It's going where it's going to continue to help the rich people. This country is, even though we vote, it really doesn't matter. Once they get up there, they're corrupt. They're being bought. Look at your boy Clarence Thomas, all the crap he got. I can't say I wouldn't do that if I was in that position, because I ain't in that position. But if I was in that position, I was hoping that somebody like me would come along and say, that's wrong. That's wrong. You should step away from whatever you're doing and just quit. There shouldn't be a lifeline.
There you go, Henry.
What happened?
Henry, there you go.
What are you talking about?
She on TV?
Touchdown.
Oh, your TV must be faster than mine. But anyway, go ahead.
Touchdown, Cowboys.
Are you serious? I don't see it yet. It's still 14-0 here.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It must be this play right here. He must be going to the CD Lamb or something. That's
to
how I see it. Let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, he threw it to number 9. Well, I guess God reached down there and gave you all a gift, Henry. That's all.
It ain't over with. It ain't over with.
That's all I can say.
But
Until the fat lady sings.
But
I I want to put a different spin on it. Just think about what you just said and what you just talked about. And this I want to direct this to you, Miss Vonda, and you, Miss Denise. Okay, knowing with the situation with the homeless people, with priorities and so forth, if you look at, I'm sure as children we all looked at Superman, the Legion of Doom, the
Mhm.
Justice League, and all of that. If you had a superpower, what would your superpower be, Vonda and Denise?
I had a
My
horrible thought.
my, my superpower would be um to help the helpless. I mean, if I could snap my finger and get those kids that don't have food, or you know, or a good home, I would. I don't know. I guess I'd be like, well, she's not a superhero. What's the one that used to twinkle her nose? Sabrina.
Bewitched.
Which,
Yeah, I don't like to use that term, but I mean, if I had a superpower, I would just make sure that everybody is okay. Everybody. I mean, you need those staples. You need food, clothing, and
Yeah,
shelter.
well,
And
I
I
agree with you.
if I could change the healthcare system, that's what I would do.
Well, this the healthcare system ain't there to keep you healthy. The healthcare system is there to keep you broke.
Yeah, and that's what
that's right.
I would fix because
It's not there to make if you can afford the health insurance or uh, any insurance, uh, you're part of that 40%. I'm sorry, 60% of America that's above water. It's about 40% of America underwater. There's
is
people out there that got jobs and are still starving
that's true.
because
Let
they
me ask
take
you,
go ahead.
does Canada, is it true that Canada, their healthcare system is way different from ours?
Oh,
They don't have to pay for healthcare. Is that true?
it's the best. It's the best.
That's what I heard. Okay.
Laura said that healthcare is determined by big pharma, and that's
Well, yeah,
correct. If it
that's
ain't
true.
no, I mean, let's
Mhm.
think about it. Let's look at this. Is one of the stupidest things, and y'all tell me about it. We can put a man on the moon. We can put where people can talk miles, states away from each other, but you can't cure cancer. And then when you get close, you always fail. Or the common cold. How much money do you spend a year in cold medicine every winter? That's billions of dollars, billions of dollars. So when you look at big pharma's getting paid.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. That 1% of the American people that
Mhm.
don't pay taxes, that don't do anything to upgrade American people. And one thing I'm gonna bring up on that before we go any farther, and I hope I twinkle some toes in people's eyes. That's why racism is making a big comeback today, because if you have a few people that are getting ahead, you got more you leave them behind. And trust me, just like slavery, poor European Americans didn't was like scum until they had the slaves, like we was talking about before, and then they upraised themselves. And that's the same thing they doing now. That's why we have it. Let's be for real. Which one of you have a friend that is non-black friend, but is not Latino, that will go out there and do a hard job day after day, sick after sick, just to feed his family? Do a job that nobody wants to do. Who you know any black people do that? I know none. I don't know
You
any
know,
white
Terry.
people that do that.
Terry. I went to the cruise to New Mexico. Well,
Hmm.
Mexico, Costa Maya, and Cozumel, and
Hmm.
they had an impromptu night one night where you could get up and do karaoke, you could tell jokes and all of that. So, I had one or two sweet teas in me, so I
Hmm.
said I'm gonna go ahead and do this little jokes stuff. So, man, I got up and I said, man, I got up this morning and on my little mailbox they said that I could win a free cruise um, to somewhere. I think may have been Honduras and Belize and so forth like that. And and I was telling the people there, and I said, they got us like that over 400 years ago, saying, "Hey, come on, get on this boat." So you ain't gonna get me on the boat, bro. I don't want your free cruise.
I know, right? Keep
Well,
it.
you was going somewhere with that one too. But earlier you asked Bonnie, would she be a superhero?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna flip that.
Oh,
I'm gonna flip that one to Denise, and then go to you, then go to myself. If you could
yes,
be a
sir.
superhero,
I
Denise.
think I would be. I would think I would work on the sex trafficking and
Mhm.
the missing children.
Yeah, it's good.
I would be like a Wonder Woman or
Oh,
something.
look at you! We're gonna
Yeah.
see you on Halloween.
Yeah, because it's such a high sex trafficking and missing kids. There's so many missing kids,
Yes,
you know,
Mhm.
just like just disappeared off the earth. So I would try to do something as far as to help to try to figure out the sex trafficking and the missing children.
yes. And the foster. So she said, "Don't." Laura said, "Don't forget the foster care needs
Yes,
reforming. It does.
absolutely.
Hmm.
It does."
That
Absolutely.
too.
What would you be, Henry?
Hmm.
What would you be?
Well, I think it was to what would your superpowers be,
Yeah.
and my superpower would be X-ray vision. You know what I'm saying? So, boy, I
Ah,
could walk down the street and just boy, ooh,
and look at
So
what? What you gonna
what
look
good
at?
would you use that for,
okay.
Henry?
Yeah.
What good I would use? What good I would use it for?
Yeah.
Stand up.
Ah, Lord.
You remember those comic book back in the day? You got the X-ray vision sunglasses. I mean,
Yes.
You
Yeah,
too much, Henry.
yeah.
I think my superpower would be probably really outrageous because people would be afraid. But I like to be in charge of the whole world.
Yeah.
The
That's
whole
huge.
world.
But
Why?
That's
can
huge.
one
No,
man
why?
have that much power?
I think I could handle it. I think I can handle it. I wouldn't want wealth. I wouldn't want fancy things. I wouldn't want a lot of women. I would just want peace and harmony. I think that's what people really need. Everybody in the world needs to have a job. Doesn't have to be the best job, but should be a job that if they're a low income family and both husband and wife can work, that they can still live the American dream by owning a home, sending their kids off to college, trying to uprise one generation at a time. I think that's where I believe the not just the American people, but the world people have
Mhm.
lost that because it doesn't matter if you in Africa, you still have white supremacy in Africa. Only different is it's just called
Hmm.
supremacy.
Mhm.
You know, that's the problem with this world, and I just think that we spend so much money on war. If we spend money on improving things, there wouldn't be no war. Prime
Mhm.
example. Look right now. I don't know if y'all was following the news, but Pakistan and Israel is back at war again for hundreds of thousands of years in the Bible
Mhm.
over a piece of land. Why don't they just make that piece of land neutral land and or give it to United Nations and let the United
Mhm.
Nations own it? I'm not trying to say this to belittle the religion or nothing, but it's only where Christ was at. It's not. It's yes, it's holy land, but it's not your land. It's the world's land, and that's what they keep fighting over. They're killing women, doing things on TV, on camera to women. That's horrific. I think if I had that superpower, I would make people colorblind,
Mm.
and I would
Mhm.
switch roles where the poor
Mhm.
was rich and the rich was poor, so that both could understand how the other one is surviving.
Mhm.
That's just my part. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be a politician. I just think that in my Bible studies that since I've been in for 2.5 years, I found out that people should be more understanding of people's problems,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and instead of throwing money at it, uh, I think if I'm correct, Henry, Christ didn't give you food; He taught you how to fish
Mhm.
so you could feed yourself. So
Mhm.
that's what the world needs to do for everybody, not just European Americans or European. Caucasian people or African elites, whatever they are. It should be everybody should be living. I said it before. A high school student should be working at McDonald's should be making at least $25,000 a year. What would that kid do with that $25,000 a year? First of all, take all the problems away from his family,
Mhm.
buying them clothes and all that. And the bad thing about when they give you a raise or something, the first thing they do is raise everything up so that raise
Right.
gets wiped away.
Right.
Don't
Right.
Mhm.
do that.
Right.
It don't cost. They lying to you when they say, "Oh, it costs so much more to make gas." No, you're greedy. You're greedy. When we was kids, it was what 39 cents to a gallon,
35
It's
cents.
not.
crazy crap like that.
35 cents.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand the rich people want to get rich, but they could get rich and still give. I think the only one that I think that gives is Amazon gives a lot of money away. I don't know if Eli gives money away. The Tesla
Mhm.
guy.
Mm.
I don't know if anybody else gives the money away. But
Bill
damn it,
Gates.
yeah, Bill Gates. But damn it, if the black
Mhm.
athletes are making a grip of money, if they ain't giving to a charity or doing charity work, they screaming at them. They screaming at them. I think it's
Mhm.
wrong. So that's my superpower, B.
Yeah.
That's all my
But
superpower.
Terry, you make a very good point too. You look at taxes. All we gotta do, man, is take the limitation off taxes. You know what I'm saying? Take the
I agree.
limitation off taxes where you got everything equal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be much better at that point. You talk about how can you survive or we can't survive like this. Man, take the bar off of it where everybody is equal
Paying
and
their fair share.
paying their fair share, dude. That's it. That's
I
all you
mean,
got
that's
to do.
that's that's the reason why 90% of the countries on this planet are jacked up is because they cater to the rich. I mean, look at the royal family over in England. They ain't worked a penny, but they got all that money. Where is it coming
Mm-hmm.
from? It's
Right.
coming from overtaxation. Where's all the money coming from? I thought that if we sent all these companies down to Mexico and help reform their country, we would stop all the influx into the United States because they're looking for a better life and a safer life. But why don't we just put people in power there that aren't corrupt and make them work like that? But they don't do
You,
it that way. I don't
you know that
understand.
is hard. You know, you look at the mayoral race here in Memphis. We just had a young man that is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, Paul Young, to be elected the mayor of Memphis. Young man, very bright future. And you know, one of the things that one of the talk shows said that I hope that he doesn't become corrupt. You know, because everybody's going to say, "Hey, here's this favor. We got this. Is what
Hmm.
we need. You scratch my back, I scratch your back." That can't happen, man. It's got to be clear cut. This is the way it is. And that's the way it's going to be.
Well,
But
maybe
you
you
get
should.
in a country, you get in a third world country where the cartel is running stuff, man.
Mm.
And bro, it's that's difficult, man. You
Well,
know.
let's just be for real. Let's be for real. Let's talk about something that a lot of people are not really speaking of. Let's talk about weed. When you was buying weed from the drug man, it was illegal. But the drug man was making so much money off that weed that what happened? Corporate America want to sell that weed. So do we have a weed problem today? No. Is anybody robbing each other, steal money for weed? No. All I'm saying is big pharma want to make money, make that cocaine, make all that acid and everything where it don't kill nobody. Where they get a 15, 30-minute high. That's what they did with weed. That's what they did with weed.
Well, that's
And
what they
then,
did with alcohol. You
yeah,
know,
they did that with alcohol also. Remember Prohibition?
alcohol was bootleg. Big Brad was bootlegging alcohol. So hey, the
Mm.
government says, hey man, we need to tap into this industry here. There it is, and that's what happened. So
I
um,
agree with you.
The
you
common
know,
denominator, money.
That's
right,
it.
right,
That's
You
it.
know,
right.
and there's always that biggest question, and I'm gonna put this to Denise. Denise, what would you rather have? Power or money?
Mm.
Hmm.
Neither one
No,
really.
you gotta pick. You gotta pick one. Just pick one. Just close your eyes and go any, mini, miny, mo.
uh, probably that's a hard question. Uh, probably money.
Vonda?
Well, it depends on what power I have.
No, just answer the question. Power or money?
When you say I that question.
Yeah, power or money.
Um, I think that well, if I had power, I would have money. So uh, they go
So
hand
your
in
answer is
hand.
power.
So
You say power. Henry?
I
I would definitely want power. Uh, and the reason why, and I was trying to look it up right now to see just what is the salary of the president of the United States. I don't think
25,
he makes.
$250,000.
Okay, so he
yeah,
makes 20. So he makes 250 grand. So what does he have to spend his money on? You know, he's the most
all these
powerful person,
perks.
and he's the most powerful person in the United States. Some say the world. You know, uh, he don't have to pay for his house. He don't have to pay for his clothes. His wife don't have to pay for her clothes. Uh, Light, gas, and water. They don't have to pay for cars, food, none of that.
Security.
All of that is given to them. So, and that's just a perk of the position that he's in. I would most definitely say power for me.
I would pick power.
Hmm.
Well, y'all pick power. I'm picking money. Y'all go on with the
So you know
power.
what? There's a lot
I'm
of
going with
millionaires
that.
right there in
Mhm.
Clarksville that
Hmm.
ain't got no
A
power.
lot what?
There's a lot of
Absolutely.
millionaires right
Yeah.
there in Clarksville. They ain't got no power. They like they got nice homes. They got a nice.
I'm just gonna stay over here with my money and mind my own business.
But what I'm trying to say is the reason why I asked that question back in the day, the rapper said, "Power brings
Hmm.
money, but money don't bring power."
Right.
Mm.
Because if you look at the rich people, they got all the money. They don't have no power. So that's why they
Mhm.
do things like Clarence Thomas and they fund all the people up in Washington, all the things, the corrupt stuff that goes up in there with the money. And that's what's wrong with this world. The world is corrupt with money. And I'm not saying money's a good thing to have
What?
and a bad thing not to have. But
Mhm.
when you're using it to belittle other people and make other people uh, whatever they have less worth than what it really is. If you're only making $10,000, but your car is paid for and your house is paid for, who gives a crap? You see what I'm saying? Who really cares a crap? You
Hmm.
know. And the
But do
first
you
thing, go ahead, Vaughn. I'm sorry.
no, you
No,
go ahead and
no,
finish.
you go ahead.
Do you all think, and I'm thinking about this biblically, do you all think that the billionaires should have a responsibility of helping the poor, um, giving back more um, to society or to different programs to help?
No,
Um, it's a and they can't and that's on them if they have $1 million. I mean that's what they worked hard for. And so that was just a question I posed to you. And I'm thinking about the poor, who helps the poor, you
no.
know. So
I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm not going to say it's the responsibility of the billionaire. I think that's the responsibility of us all. You know,
mhm.
Of the
uh,
taxpayers.
of
Your
us
question
all.
would be really answer what Henry said earlier. If
Mhm.
they paid their fair share of taxes,
Mhm.
then all these programs would never go away because you said if they donate money here, if they donate money here, they do. And they write that off as a
Mhm.
tax write off.
Mhm.
And that is nowhere close to their wealth. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, I'm not gonna hate on them because they making money. That's not
Mhm.
what I'm doing. What I'm
Mm.
hating on them about is not paying their fair share in taxes.
Mhm.
Donald Trump said, "Oh, I'm smart. I don't pay taxes." Well, we'll find out when you and sell with Bubba down in
Isn't that against the law? To pay
no, they find if you're
taxes?
rich, you find loopholes.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
y'all been following
Yeah.
that guy? Hold on, let me say this real quick. Thanks for tuning in to TV African American Network. We have local filled with global reaches. You rich and out of bounds with T Rex and the crew. My question: have y'all been following that guy that won that big Powerball?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, I
He
haven't.
won like I could be crazy, but I think it was over 200 million. Billion. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. He's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the first person he hired?
A tax advisor, I mean, a financial advisor, I would think.
A lawyer.
A lawyer.
A
Mm-hmm.
what? A
A
lawyer.
lawyer.
Well, yeah,
A lawyer.
yeah, yeah,
So he's
exactly.
using his money and the lawyer's knowledge to retain more money. I'm sure the
Mm,
lawyer, next person he
Mm-hmm.
hired up under him was that tax accountant,
Mm-hmm.
so they can find loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad when people got money. Trust me. If you're okay with that, that's fine with me. One thing I'm not okay with is if you make $1 billion a year and you can find loopholes where you don't have to pay taxes,
yeah.
and your taxes are $2 or $3 million. Could you imagine all the people that are rich just pay $2 or $3 million left over and put
Yeah.
into the system?
Mm-hmm.
It'd
Mm-hmm.
be amazing. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
just believe that America is this country that the world is watching, and we're so hateful and so conceited that we're not putting it out. When I was a kid, they used to call them big fat dumb Americans because we was all fat because we ate too much. When I was in Germany and we traveled
Hmm.
throughout Europe, that's what they would say, big fat dumb Americans, because you're stupid, because you're not, and they were right. They're right. I can ask a question about politics, not too many answer a question. You ask a question about some type of sport, they can give you stats and background.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should be able to understand what's
You
going on
know,
in the country.
but I understand that because when you get into politics and religion, that's a sticky situation with people. Um, people kind of get like they have their own opinion, of course, but people kind of shy away from those two categories because it causes a disturbance, kind of. People feel uncomfortable.
You,
Some people feel uncomfortable with politics and religion,
trust me.
speaking to others.
People rather talk about them having sex with their wife or husband or friend
Hmm.
than talk about religion and politics. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why it's
Hmm.
such a taboo thing to talk about is because it depends on you talking to.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
depends if you're talking to someone about uh, politics and religion. The biggest thing in religion I don't understand. The world is right now. Israel's fighting Pakistan over Christ. But what was Christ all about? Was Christ all about war and domination? It was
Mm-hmm.
about love and peace. So why
Mm-hmm.
are we having a war? That's what I don't understand. I mean, and everybody claims to be. We'll just call them a believer. We won't call them that. And even the religions argue against each other. The Muslims don't like the
Yeah.
Christians. I don't get all that. I don't get it. I don't
Terry,
get it.
you said when you were in Germany they called you the big fat American or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so funny you said that because when my son, his freshman year at Arkansas State, we're moving him
Mm-hmm.
into a dorm room, not an apartment. This is a college dorm room, a little
Mm-hmm.
twin bed over here, twin bed here, dresser in the middle, a bathroom over here, and then two people over there, and that's sharing one bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So in comes this African dude that was going to be his roommate with his mother, and his mother is looking around in the room. And I said, "How you doing?" She didn't say nothing. She walked to the bathroom and she said, "This is too much. This is too much. Too fancy. My son cannot live in this." And I'm saying,
Hmm.
a twin bed, and they sharing a bathroom with four people. Lady, what are you talking about? But I didn't say nothing. I said, maybe I don't know, man. But that young man there for 1 year, 3.9 GPA, end up going to Tennessee and graduating there at Tennessee. So, but I was amazed to hear her talk like that, man. To say
Well,
it's too much.
maybe you know why it could be possible. And I say this about I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say that I'm going to talk about white America. White America teaches if a farmer owns land and works that land, he teaches his son how to work that land and to own that land.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm
Hmm.
100% okay with that. I am 100% okay with that because that's nepotism, that's making money, and he
Hmm.
understands what his father has done. You look at these kids nowadays, Henry. Vonda, Denise, they don't care what you do. It's all about them. It's all about them. I'm not talking about.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
I'm
They're
not talking about every
disrespectful. They
child.
don't.
I'm talking about them as a whole. It's all
Yeah,
about
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, disrespectful and everything.
Right.
They don't care.
They
I
do
mean,
not.
you know,
they don't care.
I've
Mm-mm.
always said that, you know, America is a myth, a melting pot, and we have so much to offer people. But Denise, no, it was Vonda brought up earlier about the healthcare system in Canada. It's called, I think it's called not healthcare. I forgot what the word is, but I'm sure somebody will tell me. But they all have it. The whole nobody
It's without.
is broke.
Mm-hmm.
So the good doctors do, they come to America to work
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
so they can make that money.
So they
Now
can make
some may
money.
go back home. I know my doctor's from Korea. He works his butt off here, but he goes back home for 2 months out the year and he does work in
Yeah.
Korea. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. Maybe he's doing free work. I'm okay with that because he's taking the money that he made here and surviving himself and his family so he can go back home and do, free work for that. I'm okay with that. European has a social system where the Europe people get a 2 week vacation and all their anywhere they want to go in the world and all their medical and health problems are taken care of.
Mhm.
What's wrong with that? You know what's wrong with that is it's a social system and you start talking about social systems, American people no, because the rich run this place.
But you know, Terry, you look at the Hispanic person that will come to America to work, to get a job, will buy a house, 3 bedroom house, and
Mhm.
got 6, 7 people in that house. You know what I'm saying? They're pooling their money together, sending it back to wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can us four here live in the same house and do that? No, sir. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And uh, I think that's amazing. You know, it really is. So I think that we as a people have got to do
Mm-hmm.
better for ourselves. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
it starts with us, man. It starts with us. So
Yeah.
Laura said Doctors Without Borders are
Awesome.
awesome, and I agree with you. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what you was talking about, Henry? I think that's the problem, and I think until we, as a people, I'm talking about Black people,
Mm-hmm.
can if you go out tomorrow and buy a nice car, and you're not trying to impress anybody, you just buy the car,
hmm
and then you drive down the street, you see one of your friends, they go nice car, but if I bought that car, I'd have done this, 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 and this.
hmm
That's a form of hating. Why do we always got? Why can't you just stop at that's a nice car?
hmm
You see what I'm saying? So we all do it. That's why I stated earlier I would love to be in I would love to have power. I would put some kind of like one of those movies where you couldn't lie, and every time you lied, the truth come out,
hmm
and or you can see the future.
I
You can
tell my
commit a
friends,
crime, huh?
I try to be that way. That's why I was saying, I mean, because I always try to tell my friends if they have nice things or whatever. I don't envy that.
Right.
Uh, uh, I always want them to do better. You know, anybody can do better. I want them to do better. But if my friends have something like that, I encourage them. I say, "Oh, that's sharp. That's
That's
nice."
right.
You know, you know. I
Because
don't
they probably
envy.
worked hard to they probably worked hard to get that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So I like that. I like to see my friends do better. I don't want them to do less. You know, I want them to progress and do better and get the things they want because they work hard to do what they want to do. So you need to get the things you want.
And a lot of times we
Well,
block our blessings just with our attitudes and how
Mm-hmm.
we treat people and how we feel about people and how we envy people.
I now that you brought up blessings, I got a question for you. Okay. Why is poor people the majority of religious people? When we get to heaven, we're gonna have all this glory. But while we're here, we're suffering.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? We're suffering while we're here. And I'm not gonna be disrespectful to any religion, but if if the rich people can turn around right before they die and say, Lord, forgive me, and they go to heaven, then why are we suffering now? Why aren't we out there doing what they do to get rich and powerful? You follow me? Because why do we have to wait till we get to heaven to be happy? Why can't we be like they are, driving around in nice cars, owning a 300-foot yacht,
But
stuff of that
Terry,
nature?
if you're looking at it from the outside, you don't know what's going on in that house. You know what I'm saying? They may
That's right.
they
What
may
the
be
Joneses is
going
doing.
through holy hell there in that house, man. Yeah, they got
And a lot of times that's right, Henry. They are.
the fat house
A
on
lot
the
of times you're
they
right.
got the fat house on the fat hill on the fat side of town, driving a nice car and going through holy
And got
hell
fat problems.
and got fat problems.
Well,
You got fat
I
problems.
understand that, but my point was, because Vonda brought up the religion, I just want to know why we gotta wait till we get to heaven to get our rewards. I mean, we get trinkets, we all do. Some people get more trinkets than that, and that's the Lord's way, and I'm not going to discuss that.
That's why you got to have peace within. You got to find peace within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And man, don't worry about what Terry has. Be happy for Terry. Just live within the means that Henry has. You know what I'm saying?
That you can live.
And Miss Laura said it's approving of our faith.
That's right.
It's great.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
I just don't think it's. I mean, I think one thing that I have to say that I really enjoy about Bible study, Henry them told me that there's 3 levels of heaven. Made me feel a lot better. At least I got 3 chances to get up there. So, I tell you, that was the biggest blessing I've ever heard in the world, and I've been blessed since I've been in Bible study, and I became a better person. I don't do the same things I used to do, and I give that to God, and I give it to my fraternity brothers that I have Bible study with all the time, and I think that it's amazing what faith can do for you. I'm not going to say religion. I'm going to say faith, because faith, without faith, there's no religion. You have to have faith.
There's no religion without faith.
And it's impossible.
It's
impossible to please God without faith.
So, be content in all the things, and that's the Lord said, be content in all things. I agree. I mean, you don't have to have a brand new anything. I mean, come on, let's be for real. How many times you built your own? How many friends do we know that built their own home?
Right.
Very few.
Right.
So they got somebody else's house.
Right.
Just like I'm living in somebody else's house, even though I'm paying to own it today.
Right.
It was somebody else's house that I bought it from them.
Right.
And that's just the cycle we go through.
Right.
So before we go, I'm gonna leave this.
I didn't buy my house from nobody else.
Huh?
She did.
You didn't get my house from no one else.
You didn't? You bought it when it's first built?
She built it.
Yes.
She built it.
I built it.
You built it? Oh, I'm going to come visit that.
Yeah. Everything in my house I picked out. My lights, my paint, my carpet, my fireplace, everything. My cabinets and everything.
Terry, you said you got to go do what over there?
You're so messy, Henry.
Henry was reading my mind. I was like, well, maybe I don't need to visit Denise a little bit.
But I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
No, that's a true blessing. And
yeah.
For you to be a single, I'm gonna say this like I'm gonna say it, a single Black woman, and you achieved all that on your own.
Yeah,
that is truly.
Yeah, and I was young. I was like 27, 27, something like that.
You was where you might have been young, but you was definitely mature. Because at 27, last thing I was thinking about was a house.
Yeah, I was glad my mom and dad was still living to see that. To be proud of me to do that. Well,
we got to get ready to go. Does anybody got anything to shout out? Next week we're gonna talk about homecoming, what we're gonna do. So we get in touch with all our Austin Peay friends and have them watch the show so we can put all out the stuff out. Right before we go, we'll start with Henry. You got anything to say, Henry?
Man, be careful. Take care of yourselves. As men, Terry and myself, get your checkups. Vonda and Denise, do your body checks and all of that to check. You say you laughing, but that's very important.
That's true. No,
it is true. Lisa talked about that on her show today.
Yeah, you got to do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, you got
Go
to.
to the dentist. Get your teeth clean. Just
Ooh.
take care of you, but also pamper yourselves. Get your nails done. Get your toes done. I do. You ought to see my toes right now. You
Are
want
they
to see 'em?
pink?
They
No, we don't
red.
want to see. Okay,
No, we don't really want to.
okay, Rhonda, what you got?
Not to just live on purpose.
Okay,
Live on
Denise.
purpose. And shout out. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, give shout outs.
Go ahead,
Shout
Don.
out to who was watching. Gary Stone, Everett Watley, my brother James Atkins Jr.
Okay,
And Gary Johnson, my friend from Dublin.
okay.
Thank you.
Denise.
I just want to say, just be yourself. Don't try to do what the Joneses do,
That's it.
and go and, like Henry said, go and take care of yourself. And like me and Terry and Henry and Vonda, go get your nails done
Definitely.
and
Especially them growth.
and everything.
I need a
And
sponsor.
and just be yourself.
Okay,
Don't try to impress nobody. Impress yourself.
that is the truth. Live within your means and mean what you live.
Mhm.
I before I go real quick, I want to put this shout out. Laura said self care and be. It's nice for good men to have nice feet too, but I just want to shout out to everybody.
Hey, Laura.
Shout out to everyone out there. Thanks for watching. We're all blessed. Bless yourself.
Yeah.
Bless yourself, and be kind to people as you want them to be kind to you. And with that said,
That's right.
Miss Producer, take us away.
Peace. Holla.